Okay, here's a little unboxing. You can see here's a small box here, and in front of me I have the Torreya fargesii, the Farges Torreya from central China, and it's incredibly small. I guess the size I purchased was 1 quart maybe, which is the size of the pot that it comes in, but I'm a little bit disappointed in the online retailer, in this case camforest.com, because I have ordered from Cam Forest in the past to get Keteleria, which died from the cold, and it was a much better specimen than this. This is really, in my opinion, almost too small to be selling. It looks like a rooted cutting, and maybe it's only been rooted for 1 season. So I think they should have let this go longer, just to make sure it was fully established, and maybe put it in a better pot. Selling it this small just kind of smacks of desperation, in my opinion, and that's not a good trait in a nursery. So I'm still mostly favorable regarding camforest.com, because you can find some really rare, unusual things there, but it's a little bit weird that they would send something this small. And also, a lot of their better specimens seems like they're nursery pickup only, which doesn't make sense. And considering the size of this really tiny box, it kind of makes me think maybe they haven't quite figured out how to do mail order nursery shipping yet. Now, let's contrast that with another thing that I just received, and this is a pretty nice spruce, fairly large size, great looking foliage. This is in a much larger box. You can see they've got the air gap here, which is the best way to insulate the spruce from the heat, or any evergreen from the heat, that is. And it also had this divot cut out where there was a string through there. This is actually the string and some rope. And so they had it secured so the pot couldn't move around. Looks like they've got a bag around the pot here, and overall it just looks really good. So what is this? This is the Dragon Spruce, Picea asperata, from central China. And I purchased this on Etsy, actually, from a seller on Etsy named mikesplants. And he has some pretty good selection out there. So even though you may not think to look on Etsy, because it's usually a bunch of knickknacks, there are a few people that sell plants on there, and Mike's Plants is pretty reputable. And I've purchased some other trees in the past that have survived, so I would say that Mike's Plants on Etsy is a good place to get evergreens. And in this case, I don't know if they still have the Dragon Spruce, but these are pretty hard to find. A place like Forest Farm, which should have this all day long, hasn't had this in a long time, so it just goes to show you how far downhill Forest Farm has fallen. But Mike's Plants on Etsy has stepped in to fill the gap, so looking forward to getting this Dragon Spruce in the ground and seeing what it can do. Considering the region of China that it grows in, it should grow ideally here in Middle Tennessee.